The UK driving test is comprised of 5 main parts. At the start of the test, your eyesight will be checked and you'll be expected to read a number plate from a distance of 20.5 metres. You'll be asked 2 show me tell me safety questions, one of the 14 possible tell me questions before you set off, and after you set off, one of the 7 show me questions which you will be expected to answer whilst you're driving. The main part of the test will assess your general driving ability and will last approximately 40 minutes, 20 minutes following the directions from an examiner, and a 20-minute independent drive where you will either follow directions from a sat-nav or you'll be asked to follow road signs. You may also be asked to perform a controlled or emergency stop. During the drive, you will also be asked to perform one of the 4 reversing manoeuvres. In this video, we will explore the reverse bay park manoeuvre using the 45-degree method. Whilst it's perfectly acceptable to reverse into a space on either the right or the left-hand side, most people find that due to the extra manoeuvrability, it is easier to reverse into a space on the left and prefer to drive forward into spaces on the right. If you do decide to reverse into a space on the right, the process is identical, just the other way around. And note how you will need to position yourself on the right hand side of the carriageway, so make sure you make adequate observations before starting the manoeuvre. This manoeuvre involves identifying a suitable parking bay, slowly approaching the bay at a 90-degree angle, before turning away from the space to approximately 45 degrees. Lining up the back corner of the car with the furthest line on the bay, before carefully reversing in whilst keeping the lines at an equal distance on either side. Then driving safely back out of the bay. And this must be done whilst maintaining complete control and performing all-round observations throughout. So let's take up the manoeuvre step by step. If the examiner wishes you to perform the manoeuvre, they will direct you to a suitable car park before asking you to bring the car to a complete stop. They will then ask you to choose a bay and reverse into it. So, first we need to find a suitable target bay. Remember, the first bay you see is not always the best one to use. Sometimes other parked vehicles may make it more difficult to park in the nearest space, so don't panic, take your time, and if possible choose a target bay that is not too tight and has plenty of room around it for you to manoeuvre. Once identified, look at the lines of the bay and identify the second or furthest line. You then need to approach the bay at 90 degrees, so that the mouth or entrance of the bay is facing your passenger door. Slow the car down to 1 mile an hour and use your clutch control to control your speed. Bring the car to a halt so that the second line of the bay is level with your shoulder. Then identify an object that is at 45 degrees to your right. In this case, I'm using a tree. Then, having checked that it is safe, move off very slowly, steering away from the bay with the steering wheel on full right lock, and come to a halt when the car is facing directly at the object you chose. As you stop, look in the left side mirror, where you should see that the second line has appeared. It's also useful to unsteer as you stop to give you less steering at the next stage. Apply your parking brake and put the car into reverse and prepare to move. It's crucial at this point that you make thorough all-round observations. Before reversing very slowly, steering to the left, make sure that the last place you check before you set off is directly behind you. Remember, you're in a car park, so there will be pedestrians and other vehicles around. As you reverse, keep the second line in view at all times, keeping it left of the side of the car in the mirror image like so. Then if you look in the right hand mirror, you'll find the other white line has appeared, so aim to keep the car within the 2 white lines. It's important to take your time, and if you're not sure which way to steer, stop and think, and take a moment to work out what you need to do. There's no point in continuing on if you're unsure, and continue when you are happy and you know which way you need to steer. Remember, when reversing, you're steering the way you want the back of the car to go, Then, manoeuvre the car so it is in the middle of the bay using both side mirrors to guide you, but still making good all-round observations. And gently bring the car to a stop, ensuring that the car is not sticking out at the front and is not too close to anything behind you. Once stationary, apply the handbrake and engage neutral. As with all manoeuvres, it can be useful to find a reference point to help you. In this case, we're using the door mirrors to help identify that the front of the car is not sticking out, by making sure that the front of the bay is just underneath the mirrors like so. But you'll need to experiment to find your own reference points, as different cars and different driving positions will mean they will probably be unique to you. You will then be given your next set of directions and asked to move off when you're ready. Engage first gear, and once again make good all-round observations before slowly moving away in the direction you've been asked to go. You don't have to perform the manoeuvre in a single attempt, so you can pull forward if needed and re-attempt it, but you must finish so that all four wheels are within the bay and not crossing into any of the neighbouring bays. So let's recap. Identify a suitable bay, finding the second or furthest line. Approach extremely slowly. Once level with the line, steer full lock away from the bay until you're at 45 degrees. Reverse it back, keeping the second line in view in your side mirror. And straighten the car, keeping an equal distance between both lines on either side. And stop a safe distance from anything behind you and with the front not sticking out. Use your clutch control to control your speed and use good all-round observations throughout.
If you found the information in this video helpful, then please remember to subscribe to the JFM Drive Intuition channel. Thanks for watching.